Geneva Wright became the longest-reigning Miss World Eskimo-Indian Olympics, or Miss WIO, when last year's pageant got cancelled because of the pandemic. She jokingly calls herself the COVID Queen. Instead of crisscrossing the state wearing her regalia, she hasn't left Tanana, a community of about 240 people, for 8 months.
The world shut down overnight. It was the weekend before Festival of Native Arts here in Fairbanks, and that was going to be my first event as Miss WIO, but everything was cancelled.
Miss WIO is not exactly a beauty pageant, it's a cultural mission. The talent portion is focused on native skills such as preparing thread from a deer sinew, training a sled dog, and traditional dancing.
So Miss WIO is basically a role model. She represents understanding and acknowledgement about all our different cultures here in Alaska. For just Athabascans, there's 11 different Athabascan groups all over Alaska, and I'm from one of them, a Koyukon Athabascan.
This year, the crown went to Autumn Madison from Kotzebue, the reigning Miss Arctic Circle, who is planning to start studying nursing at the University of Alaska in Anchorage.
With my new title, I will try to push to be an advocate for Indigenous people, educate myself as much as possible. I would try to push for an Yupik language knowledge class in our school, because we're taught Yupik language in elementary school, which is so early on, and as you grow older, you kind of become forgetful of what you've learned.
For the female athletes participating in the Native Olympic Games portion of the WIO event, competing in traditional sport is a way to reaffirm their identity.
Me, I take it very seriously and I take it deep down to heart, just because what's currently going on right now with the remains that have been found in the lower 48 with the residential schools, that's very sensitive to me.
Native athletes often must get creative when finding space to train.
So I'm really happy. I've been practicing in my living room, and so with my kids all running all around, so I wasn't quite sure how well I would kick today, but I was able to pull through.
Amber Vaska, who won first place in the 2-foot high kick, is the executive director of tribal government and a mother of 2.
I haven't learned to sew, or I don't know the traditional songs or dances, but I do know the history of the games and how to compete in them, and that's something I plan to pass on to the next generation.
Vaska says that for her, WIO is a way to continue celebrating her tribe's culture. Natasha Mozgovaya, VOA News, Fairbanks, Alaska.